appreciate you helping me with this skit. I really want to make a good impression on the upper management at work.
Oh, you know, I am really surprised that you were into the arts. Remember that time I tried to take you to the French film? And you were like, don't nobody have time to read the movie while eating popcorn?
True, but we all good. That's what you used to tell me.
You remembered.
Okay, House of Payne fans. Now, there have been a number of people during the live stream last night I did after Sisters, and people on Twitter and in my inbox on Instagram about the possibility of Calvin and Miranda getting back together. Now, I know I've done a number of videos on this before, but just talking about the particular scene in the finale, and make sure you watch my finale review because I gave the episode like an 8.5, but it was really messy in some places. I'm not getting into the full details here, but just to give you a quick kind of recap on what I really felt was missing from the episode. You had Ella at the very end. I mean, Curtis called her out for like, what, is anybody safe from your warpath? But then Ella makes it clear this isn't a warpath, it's a path to healing and peace because this family is under attack. But really, Curtis was the catalyst for a lot of the drama, you know, from going, well, technically both Ella and Curtis were, but they were unknowingly participating in some sort of quote unquote lovers spat between Miranda and Calvin when they were having a conversation in their kitchen determining which one of them should fix food to go over to CJ's house for Janine's return. And then Curtis is texting Calvin and Ella is texting Miranda because apparently they both text them questions about how would you deal with like an ex-lover or something like that. And Ella sends Curtis over there. So instead of him going in there to, you know, squash whatever tension or beef is going on, or at least find out why they're texting, you know, him and Ella about some sort of situation, he just records them going back and forth and then Calvin getting hit and then rushes out of there without confirming what's going on. All he did was Photoshop the video, which we as an audience didn't get to see, showed Ella, and then she assumed the worst. Wait, Calvin isn't Christian's real father, it's Peanut, and Miranda hit Calvin? No, we're going to squash. No, I'm going over there right now. And Ella apparently never went over there because remember the scene where she said, I'm going over there myself. And then from when Lisa pissed off CJ and then got this saw this emergency, I guess you could say, I'm going to call it an emergency message on his phone because whatever she saw on the phone made her speechless. There was a gap in time because all of a sudden it's nighttime and she comes downstairs saying the baby's on the way. And then Ella's still on her warpath. And it's like, if Ella went over to Calvin and Miranda's loft or Calvin's loft to see them, she would have known that whatever was going on was a freaking, just a sketch or a skit. It wasn't real. Not to mention, Curtis pretty much made Laura pissed off because he was the one that let it slip that Calvin and Miranda were coming over to the house with the kids and everything. And she thought it was just her and Calvin, you know, along with CJ and his family. So, no, this is just messed up on so many levels. Now, to be completely honest, I think it would have been a bit more interesting. I would have been frustrated, but it would have been more interesting and made more sense for drama for Miranda to come on Calvin or whatever because they're reenacting this sketch, which is just basically, I guess you could say, Calvin writing the worst case scenario about what's going on between him, Miranda, and his family, which, to be completely honest, is already a train wreck in itself because, yet again, these episodes being extremely out of order. One episode, you got Calvin telling Miranda, it's over between us. I mean, he says this like 80 times, but she still doesn't get it. Then all of a sudden, hey, I need to sow my roots. Maybe because my family says I'm getting married too fast. I want to make out with this realtor. I want to have a date. Then I'm planning my wedding. And then my ex is suing or you know, trying to get more child support. Now I'm playfully reenacting this sketch with my ex-wife in my loft. Like, what is, there's so much wrong with this. I think it would have been better if, like, let's say Ella showed up and she caught Miranda and Calvin in a compromising position. I felt like, oh Lord, this family's, I would have been laughing my ass off if she, like, you know, well, then again, Curtis just opened the door, so we can assume it's either on, well, then again, this is a Tyler Perry show where almost everybody's door is just unlocked. It's only a locked door when it's convenient to the plot of the story. Basically, I could see Ella coming in there, hooty hoo, and then, you know, Miranda and Calvin are, you know, just don't hear what's going on. So I could imagine like Ella, you know, making her way to the bedroom, which we never see. So I could just imagine we see Ella, hooty hoo, she's looking around, and then all of a sudden she like goes behind the back wall, and then we hear Calvin and Miranda gasp, and then you could hear Ella screaming, "This family's under attack." I would just laugh my ass off if that happened, because I can imagine that happening. And then she goes back over to her house, says, "I caught Calvin and Miranda doing the nasty, Curtis." What? So, I just feel like that would have made a lot more sense than them having a playful sketch, because that scene of the episode had no business being in the episode. For real, it just made no sense. Because like I said in my review, it would have been quite intense if, let's say, the family gets together for the dinner because Janine is on the, or let's say CJ hasn't heard from Janine, and they all get together. You got Curtis, Ella, Malik, Lisa, the twins, let's just say they're upstairs asleep, or they're with their other grandparents on Janine's side. I don't know. Well, then again, no, they will be at home because their moms come home. It's like, yeah, the kids are upstairs getting ready for dinner or whatever. Then, yeah, Ella, Curtis, CJ, the twins are upstairs, Malik, Lisa, and then you have Calvin and Laura. And Miranda, and it's like, so, Laura, Calvin, is Miranda showing up? Wait, no, she isn't. Why? Oh, no reason. Just wondering if you had seen her recently. No. Then it's like he lies about seeing her that afternoon or evening or whatever. Then Ella. So it's like the entire dinner would have been tense as hell. But no, we don't get that. We just get random off-screen things that were mentioned but never really followed up on. So honestly, I think it would have worked better if, let's say, Curtis could have caught them together. I think Ella would have been the funnier one. Like, Curtis just saw the sketch part, and then Ella went over there, and then the sketch brought up a lot of old feelings. Because, hell, during the reading of the sketch, I think Miranda was like, "Wow, so when did you get into acting in theater?" It's like, you know, whenever I took you to one of those Latin movie shows or whatever, you fall asleep, and it's like, well, people can change. And she's like, "Oh, you remembered." So it's like those two are just really, you know, bringing up the past in the terms of the good parts. And I feel like that could have led from one thing to another, because I feel like Calvin writing whatever this sketch was supposed to be, didn't he say it was like a sketch for like the management team at his job or something? So I guess because he works on a social media app, probably dating or whatever, he probably created a scenario of, hey, let's talk about how we can get lovers back together or something. So let me just pull from my real life. And kind of like I know this is a random pull or in terms of an example, but when the New Edition story came out, the New Edition movie on BET, the 3-part series, when the script was written and whatever, and everything, not whatever, I'm sorry, when the script was put together and the members of the group read it, in like various interviews, they said, wow, you know, like when we were reading the scripts, for the first time, we saw through the eyes of one of the other members. Like, I never, Mike would be like, you know, I didn't see things from Ralph's perspective, or, you know, Bobby would be like, I didn't see things from Mike's perspective. And these were things that were festering for decades, but they were finally able to talk things out, but at the same time reopened old wounds, you know, like some resentment, some money that wasn't made, some connections that were broken for years, that kind of thing. So I feel like the same thing could have been done with the script, like with Miranda and Calvin reenacting scenarios. And, you know, you can argue there's some embellishments there, like, you know, Peanut being the daddy, for example. They could have been like, wow, so that's how you felt that night we argued about this or that. And then those two could have gotten in bed together. I feel like that would have been crazy. But to be honest, they're going to get back together. I feel like that's the main thing. It's going to happen. So this would have been a hell of a way to kind of, you know, lead towards that. But that didn't happen at all. We just got this random, oh, Calvin got punched. Curtis recorded it, told Ella what he saw without context. And then she said she was going over there, but she clearly didn't go over there. I mean, let's say she went over there, but Calvin and Miranda were both gone. Or let's say she went over there and, like, yeah, she went over there. Nobody answered the door. Calvin wasn't there. Miranda wasn't there. She tried calling Calvin, but nobody answered. So it's like, okay, this family's under attack. We got to get this straight. So, no, it's just weird how the finale just weirdly inserted Calvin and Miranda. To be honest, Calvin and Miranda didn't even have to be in the episode, but thankfully they were, because that promo of her punching Calvin led to a video with almost 20,000 hits on the channel, so I can't be mad. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think the finale could have, or do you think the finale further teased Calvin and Miranda getting back together? Do you like my made-up scenario of, let's say, Ella going over to the loft and then catching them in bed together? I think that would have been cool. But in any case, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we move closer to 200,000 subscribers on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And if you would like to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.